Oh, excuse me. Morning, everybody. PlayStation City Skyline. First things first, check on our trash. We don't need these running. What city is this I'm trying? Where are the steps? Gotta be able to turn on and off your stacks. No farms has been built over here yet. I was hoping to build farmland. I may have to take this, move it that way. Um, oh my gosh. Neck is sore. My head hurt. I got a toothache. Neck is sore because of the way I slept, I guess. Oh gosh. Massage. Rub my neck. Oh, my tooth actually feeling better this morning than it did yesterday. Neck, my head. I think it's a tension headache. It's almost like right over my eye. Not really. Then it's on the opposite side of where my neck hurt. Could be because of that. Uh, uh. So here's I'm trying. We have nice little neat blocks. Um, Most of my communities are enclosed by schools and parks. My schools are all on the same block. It's just something that it's just the way I kind of build. Uh, the reason being, then we separate neighborhoods with this is supposed to be our industrial, our factories, then schools, hospitals, neighborhood. Should come up to a park and schools, neighborhood, should be an industrial somewhere. Separate again, park, cemetery, industrial, park. Ah, school. There's a reason I put all the schools on the same block. See, people try to separate it because everybody thinks with the dipstick. You know, everybody thinks with the dipstick. Oh, you want people fucking on each other. But you gotta understand, this ain't about that. That's why it's a lot of police places around. But the reason I put them all on the same thing, college education. What you talking about, Willis? Yeah, I know I'm getting a little sick. That's why I'm like, it's the weather. You might have a permanent weather change here. Anytime the weather change permanently, I get sick. Or a little sick. From cold to hot, hot to cold. I was just thinking like, I got past it this year. But education. Tell me something. In your own neighborhood, where's the closest college? How often, like, most people see more liquor stores than they see colleges throughout their whole life. Most people see more bars than they see colleges their whole life. So that's why I put all the schools together. Elementary school students, they see the next level, which is high school. High school students see the next level, which is college. It don't seem so far off. It don't seem so out of reach, so unattainable. It's just the next step. You understand? And because it's just the next step, that step is easier to take. High five. That's why we look so neat. That's why we look so clean. Because you got money to put back into your place. I might go up to 7, you know, just to be like, hey guys, you know, you need to save up for something. Go to 10. If there's a project like we're building an airport, we're retooling our subway system. Because we got tons of public transportation. Over here, what's going on over here? Why isn't it working? This outer one take you around. The inner ones work. The outer one don't. Oh, I completed that. Okay. And then you got a train that come here that go this way throughout here, which connects. Bam. You know. Then that line connects to a line that connects to go this way. You know, to bring the two neighborhoods together as a more zoom back and forth to connect these two neighborhoods or these two rail lines. This rail line connects to over here. So it's zoom, just back and forth. Then this one goes to connect here, which branches off, you know, where'd it go? Here, which connects this one. Like, they all connect to certain neighborhoods. Each neighborhood kind of got their own line. Let's see, which one is the best one to show? This one is best to show. Each neighborhood is encased by its own rail line. That's bus line. Well, that's bus line. This one really just takes you through end to end. Same thing with this one, takes you end to end. This one takes you end to end. You know, a few stops in the way. These are bus lines. Again, takes you, drop you off on one side of the neighborhood, drop you off at another neighborhood. Then this one take you all the way to the end. So we got another one that takes you to this side of the neighborhood, down through another neighborhood, to the end of another neighborhood, where the buses take you through. So this bus go through here, you know. The yellow bus goes through that. Then we got a bus that cut through that to be like, you know. Again, rail system take you certain parts of the neighborhood. Say it starts here. We got one that take you over here on the outskirts, outskirt, outskirt, outskirt. Opposite side, but on the outskirt. You know, take it back. If you want something more up the middle of the thing, go up this one. Neighborhood, next neighborhood. neighborhood, and then that's more up the middle. We could take this train here, which only goes from here to connect the different lines and different sides of the neighborhood. So now we're on our far opposite side, neighborhood, neighborhood, neighborhood. On either side, neighborhood. That's more so park area, but neighborhood. Bam. This train goes from here to here. I don't think you go all the way through. Then this train take you zip line from here to here. Then the zip line you from here to here. Not too many stops. It's just connect end to end. You want to, train from here. You're like, I got to go all the way over here somewhere. Or I got to go all the way here. But you got to take public transportation. We don't want to hold you up too long. That's why the train lines aren't too long. And when I say not too long, straight shot like expressway to connect the different areas. Boom, one shot here and back all day. Boom, boom, boom. No stops in the middle. Boom, boom. All day and all night. Straight shot from here to here. If you want something more neighborhood friendly, once you get off here, you could take the bus to this train station. You could even walk from that train station if the neighborhood ain't too bad. And you could take something up the middle, like I need to stop here, but you probably could have walked or took the bus from there to there. But you might just want to, I'll take the bus here to go here. Or I'll take the bus from here to here, take that little walk, go there. No. Train station. This one goes up through here. That's why it's not necessarily a lot of traffic. The most traffic is here. Why? Because we got our airport here. We got twin airports. Is this the one with the twin airports? It is not. Thought it was. But we got our airport here as soon as you come in. As a reason to bring people in. We don't got a lot of cars because you don't necessarily need it. We got good transportation. Public transportation is free. Policies. Yeah, we got to invest in our parks and stuff. You got to have somewhere for people to go, something for people to do. Education. The more educated our people are, the better we are off as people. Free public transportation. It's ran by taxes. No, our taxes go to public transportation. Imagine being charged twice to get your hair done. You get charged twice for Netflix. You get charged to use Netflix, and then you get charged to watch a movie. That's how I feel about it. We already get a charge, which is taxes. The second charge is the fare for the bus. At least that's how I feel about it. But again, we don't want excuses, which is the reason why I do it. I don't want excuses in my city. Now, what you mean? Take your ass to work. I don't want to hear. I ain't got no way to work. I ain't got no way to school. I ain't got no way to. Fuck that. That shit free. What you mean you ain't got no way? Hop your ass on the train. Hop your ass on the bus. It's free. And we put money into taking care. It's about our average part. Again, never too far from schools. Because we want you to have a safe place. And parks separate our neighborhood to give it a more cozy feeling. Surprised there's not one there. That's why it's so many over there. Probably one back here. Cemetery. That's why we got that big park over there. This is industrial. For some reason, industrial is hard to grow. But that's how I know. It'll be factories. Not necessarily like oil mining or something, but just factories. So you park on this side. Like, they got a ranch over here. Factories. This is where is this? I got to check the trash. It's a reason we don't have much pollution. City info. Economy. Where's city info? Ain't it? Info views. Noise pollution. Pollution. Our biggest pollutants is our landfills. And the way to keep that down, and our runoff, to keep that down, I've learned to close our smokestacks. We can empty that, we open that, turn these on. Same thing, they all run at the same time. Empty that, open our smokestacks. And even that I would think of as converting the energy used to steampunk the shit out a little bit. Technically, I don't need to empty that. Not until that reaches a certain number. 5 is the number. When the landfill reaches 5%, we empty the landfill. We open up another one. That's why it's 4 it's a couple in the same area. Close, open. When that's empty, we test the soil and do all that extra stuff to make sure that we're not doing nothing to harm the environment. Hydroelectricity. Because we can. It's not a thing of science fiction anymore. Solar energy and all this shit, like real shit. If I could start off a city to do it, would I? Yeah. Oh man. If y'all would see, let me save that. Load game. Uh, Doom. Let me show you Doom. This is the first city I did, and I cleaned it up so well. Now our most pollutant is runoff. That's industrial over there. Landfill, farm area, landfill. Okay, this is where I want you to look. Here. This lake has no pollution. Let me load you something earlier. Let's see if it has it in here. Yeah, that got it in here. I fucked up this lake, and that's what made me start a new one. And that's not even as massive as it was. It was like up to this line up here. And I saved it. It was hard. It took me years to figure that out because I'm an idiot. I'm such a fucking idiot. It was such a simple fix. Uh, I had put these here water treatment plants along the inside of it. It said water treatment. I didn't think that it would put out bad water, which it ended up doing. So I removed the water treatment plants from inside here because it was accumulating. And then I created a pipe system to start pushing it over here. And I connected the water pumps here, the sub pumps. They didn't connect to anything else but this area here. From here to here, push that shit down river. That's why treating your water matters. But you know, That's how I cleaned up the area. It took a while. It took a long time. That's how I cleaned it up. The same method one would use to pump out a basement. If a basement was flooded, it's what I use to clean out the lake. I'm like, how? Then it clicked. It just clicked one day. I'm like, ooh, I got an idea. I'm a dumbass. I'm such a fucking dumbass. And that's how that happened. Like, I'm such a fucking dumbass. So, like I said, load from here. We went from here. I had to clean up because I didn't know about like the dump sites and shit. Uh, this already showed like where all these solar panels. That was dump site. That was horrible. You see all the water pumps now. See like that one. Had to get rid of that. Stuff like that. I know that shouldn't have been there. So it went from that. Let's go. And it was worse than that. It was so worse than that. I never knew farmland created so much pollution. Granted, that is right there. But farmland creates so much pollution. I finally grew farms. You know how long it took me to grow farms? I was like, damn, I can't grow any farms. I was thinking of getting rid of my industrial area. It was worse. I got 124,000 people, only half a million in debt. What's our economy at right now? 7%. If I put it up to 12%, like all hands on deck, I could probably drop that to like 300,000, if not a little bit lower. Versus where I'm at now, where we had already a half a million in debt, and we got significantly less people. But that's because the tax is at 5,000. Uh, your city will always operate at a debt. You can never, ever, ever, statistically speaking, get out of that hole. Just for the record, uh, emergency services. Well, that's not really emergency. It's education. Your police departments, your fire departments, your electrical services, technically, water maintenance, waste management, uh, road construction. They all don't bring back a return. They don't bring back a return. They don't make money, but it's a necessity. You got to pay people to do this shit, but it don't make money. Clean water is a necessity. Sewage is a necessity. Uh, Good roads, bridges, necessity. Even your education system don't really bring in money, but it's a necessity. So we spend money on these things, on teachers and construction workers, and you know, uh, electricians and sewage maintenance or waste management people, garbage people, waste management, police officers, even doctors, because technically healthcare is needed. Um, like I said, fire departments, all that shit. We pay these people to do these jobs because everybody needs to bring home the bacon, and they don't make any money. So we'll always be at a loss. Remember that. So when you hear a politician say, "You're going to balance the budgets and raise the debt," talking bullshit. They're talking bullshit. I dare you to ask them. So, how we gonna make money off of trash? Unless you're talking about putting up toll booths, how the fuck we gonna make money off the roads? Any politician that tried to make money off of something we can't make money off of, you gotta watch. Because the people gonna end up paying for shit we don't have to pay for. Because we already pay for it in taxes. That's how you end up paying for the bus, even though public transportation is ran through taxes. Raising taxes ain't gonna help. Not unless it's something important we building. Like for example, Chicago. I live in Chicago. They're spending like half a million in 4 years to rebuild a train station. Not a rail line, a train station. That pisses me off. You know, this is wasteful spending. Now, if you're gonna be like, hey, we're gonna raise taxes to 12% because I got a big project for us. Like, what's the project? We're gonna shut down the train system. Let's say, where's my public trans? Give me 2 seconds. Let me close out. Oh, that's still empty. We're gonna close this rail system. You know? We're gonna close it. We're gonna dig it up, lay new tracks, and redo the stops. All at once, though. $500,000 to do this in 4 years, or we could do a mill, maybe a mill two, in the same 4 or 5 years to get the whole system together. You ever heard a contractor say, you got two choices. You can patch it up now, which will cost you later, or you can replace the whole thing now, which will save you money in the long run. It's the same thing. That's the way I feel about it. They decided to take the patch job versus just fixing the problem. A train station, like, it don't make sense. Because the same manpower it takes to reroute trains, the extra buses, it's still going to cost about the same. When we could just do extra buses to run adjacent to the line, you know, the jobs it'll create, or even though it's temporary jobs, for the next 5 years. We need more bus drivers. We need construction workers. We need, cleanup people. Like, for the whole 5 years, these jobs can at least, they're in-demand jobs. Truck drivers, recycling companies make some money because they can recycle the old stuff. We'll bring in new stuff. So it's all about how you set up to say, all right, let's set up everybody. Get me my dumpster bins along the line. Get me my trucks and my forklifts or whatever along the line. Now get my crew lined up. Everybody in place. We got a crew here. Let's say here to here. We got a crew from there to in between here to cover that. Another crew 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 to cover that. All working at the same time on one goal. What's the first goal? Out with the old. Unload, put it on trucks. Same thing they're doing here. All at the same time now. Unload, put it on trucks. Unload, put it on trucks. We're done down here, boss. Cool. But, go down, help the next team. If they're not done. Don't help us, we're done. We can use a hand. Now we got 2 extra teams to go help. And not until everything is up, removed, and clean do we start the next stage. What's the next stage? Laying out all our work. Bring in the rails. We need security guards because people are still the goddamn tracks. Like they still copper out at homes. Bring out our materials. Line them up. Everything lined up. 2 seconds, boss. Just getting in the last truck. God damn it. We're done. Line up your workers. Wait, no, line up the trucks. Or no, get the machinery. Right? Line up the machinery. Line up your workers. Let's go, everybody. We got 2 weeks. Now we got multiple crews working in multiple areas, getting one task done. When a crew is done, you go help the next crew. Who's behind? You save money, you save time, and you save the overall downtime. By getting the line done at once, like a cokehead. I just did that whole line. And the time it was going to take me to change out and remodel one station. You know? And that's just smart, if you ask me. But what do I know? $5 years, $500,000 on one train station. $5 years, $1.2 million, and we knock out. Which line was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stations at one time. We change a whole line over. New rails, new cars, new station. Then I had an idea for smart cars. The train cars, not like the cars. Gotta hire new bus drivers, Lyft drivers. You give Lyft, Uber a little tax break so that we get more Lyft drivers and more Uber drivers to compensate for the rail system being down. They can make more money. And because they make more money, it's the less is more. They can hire more people. They hire more people, then that's more people to tax. Versus not being able to hire more people, not having enough people to tax. No, their workforce go from 10,000 to 100,000. Get what I'm saying? It's a little bit more money to go around, to collect. Instead of collecting, you know, 10 cents on a dollar, say you collect 7 cents on a dollar. But you still get more 7 cents than you would that 10 cents. You get me? Because we shut down the whole line. Those people are misplaced. You know, given construction zones, XYZ, buses move a little slower. Even if we put enough, it's still going to disrupt traffic. So sometimes it's just better to be like, I'm going to take a lift. Put in more, everybody makes a little bit more. Hustle up for that 5 years. You need a job? Join the city. We need people to help clean this shit up. You know? Like, I don't know nothing about construction. I ain't got no engineering degree. Nigga, we already got the logistics and all of that together. We just need somebody to do the heavy lifting. Go out there and go break your back for your city. Bounce in, break your back. You can do it, put your back into it. Shut your old ass, you come do it, boss. That's why I'm the boss. I get paid to tell you to do it. You know? But because you chose to get it all done at once, like, we can't go down this street. Only certain intersections are open. Why? Because we shut this whole street down from end to end. Only certain intersections are open. And why would they do that? Those sons of bitches. Because we're going to dig up all of this shit at once. We're going to fix the piping under there all at once. The electrical wiring under there all at once. And we're going to relay the whole street all at once. Versus, we're just going to cut out that section of wall. But boss, the whole wall is dry rotting. Look. Even though it makes sense to change the whole wall, and we risk damaging the new section from the old section, we're just going to do this section. Like our interstates. I suggested a long time ago, we shut down our interstates, and we bring in the military to do the same process. Like this section of this interstate is shut down. Like the whole interstate, yes. We bring in our military. We line up our materials. We line up our workers and our machinery. And get it all done at one time. All we need is enough road for our trucks to ship all that shit out. All go to the dumps. Then we bring in the materials, lay that shit. Now, if we all working on different parts of the interstate at the same time, again, it's multiple teams. It's not like everybody's starting at here. We're lined up along the whole interstate. We got a crew from here to here. From here to here, we got another crew. There, we got another crew. Everybody got a smaller piece of work to do to break down and clean out. All that small piece adds up. Like 5 miles. We need a crew to cover 5 miles. Every 5 miles. Enough that they could stretch and not be working on top of each other. Ants could do it. Why the fuck we can't do it? And ants can't see, according to science. They do all this shit blind, underground. You gonna tell me ants are smarter and better coordinated than us? Or some kid right now drowning in an ant hill? Like, we know ants are smart, but what about uncles? Just leave. You know what I mean? Everybody worked together on one task to get this done to that done. Like, damn, that was only like 2 months, 3 months. Why? Because we already had the plan. You lay out all the work. You lay out your materials. We need machinery to dig up. We need workers to throw that shit on the back of a truck. And we need the trucks to go where they need to go. Then we smooth, flatten, and repair whatever needs to be repaired. Repair, smooth, and flatten, right? Then we line up our material. Everybody got what they need? No. Paco don't have his hard hat. Somebody get Paco a goddamn hard hat. Everybody got, boss. All right. All right, Mark, get set. Go. Shh. You know what I mean? Not, we got one crew expected to work from end to fucking end. Talking about what's taking them so damn long. Crew one should work from here to maybe here. That seemed like a long walk, long stretch for a crew. All depends on how big the crew. Organized militaristic tactics. What we're looking for. We don't have all the materials to lay out. We don't even start laying out materials. We don't start that process until we got all the materials to lay out. Ain't no point in even, we don't got the crew to stretch the road. Then we shouldn't even be putting crew out there. A whole road, not just a street. You know, because you got like, think about local neighborhoods or local streets. How many times have that pothole been filled? Why they just don't do the whole street? Like, why they just don't do the whole boulevard? Brandon for mayor, Brandon for president. Tell you about my gun control laws another time. I'll tell y'all now then. So, we stopped selling guns. Stop selling guns, we stop selling ammunition. We build more gun stores, though, but each gun store is a shooting range. The gun store is a shooting range. Why? Because we don't want to be a punk ass, pussy ass country on some sissy ass shit. Now, look, now they ain't got no guns. You know, fuck America. They used to be the Wild Wild West. Now they got on bulletproof vests just to walk around for fashion. You know? They punk bitches now. But We have gun ranges like we have liquor stores. Or like we got McDonald's. Everybody eat McDonald's. Everybody knows McDonald's. Enough that people can go to. You can't buy guns and you can't take guns from the gun store. But you can learn how to use guns and shoot weapons at the gun store, at the firing range. Those that already have guns, we're not going to take your guns. We're just not selling any more ammunition or guns, making your guns that you have valuable and your ammunition valuable. If you want to use it as equity or an asset on a loan, you could. Given what you have, increased value. Nobody loses. You know? America still understands how to defend itself. And because now that we got gun stores across America like fucking McDonald's, and if somebody were to attempt to invade us, each gun store, which is ran by heavy government officiating, turns into a military forward operating base. Get your guns, get your guns. Kill your invaders. Kill your invaders here. I'd like to pack a motherfucker up package. Ah, you want the one with the hollow point rounds. Nope. So we still safe as a country. We don't look soft to the other countries like we don't know how to use guns. And because it's easier to access guns and to learn how to operate them. You don't necessarily have to worry about too much. We make it illegal to sell, not just in the country, but the country itself. We make it illegal for the country to sell. Sorry. My mama said we can't. You gonna be a bitch? Yeah, we can't sell you no gun. But nigga, that's what you do. You sell guns. Sorry. But we still hold friendly competitions with other nations. Like China and stuff. And Russia. Not war. But to show off the new model of gun. Like if we did sell guns, we'd probably sell something like this. Like, nigga, is that a machine? Is that a machine bazooka? Yep. Fire off 6 rockets in the span of 30 seconds. All you gotta do is hold down this button. Blow up 6 shits like fucking Tony Stark. See, this is why we don't want to sell it. It's so destructive. Like, you know what? I don't think we're gonna fuck with them. Fuck that. You know? Because no country want to look soft. That's why right now, like the Cold War exists. So nobody want to look soft. So, but that's my policy on gun control. Stop selling guns. If you illegally have a gun, you're still gonna go to jail. But if you illegally have a firearm, that's cool. We're not gonna take it from you. But because it has increased value now, because no guns are being sold in America, and we're not selling to foreign countries, it kind of becomes an antique. You can either depreciate its value by taking it to the gun range and firing when we have all these weapons for you to come and fire, or you could keep it in pristine shape, get it appraised, and put a monetary value on it that you could use to, let's say, get a loan. Like, this is a private model? Yes, it is. Here's my registration. Here's everything. Privately owned. Like, dang, this one was made the year all of that shit went into effect, making it, a collector's item. It's one of the last batches. This was one of the last ones that came off the printing line for civilian use, for private ownership. A collector would love that, but you can't have a collector because, not until, who's going to be the collector? The government. The government can use this, willing to pay to keep it off the streets. Here's a bunch of money. If you can pay it back, you can get it back. But if not, we got another gun off the street, and you just made a bunch of money. How much is the streets worth? The safety of the streets worth to the government? When everybody got a gun in the gun range, not necessarily worried about some psycho running up in there. It's about that to everybody's got a gun. Hey, how y'all doing today? Just came to shoot at the targets like normal people. You know? That's why you do put a gun in every American hand. As your deterrent. Anyway, I'm out of here. GG, good game, Gap Games, gapgames.com. Talk about it.